Yeah, I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been higher than a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat. Yo, grew my hair and took the grill out. Think it's time to put it back in. Trying to get into that big house, turn the crib into the mansion. Needed something with that big bounce. You know I had to hit Jackson. Aaron Rodgers with the quick routes. I'm with the gang, we packing. We on the field at Lambo. Might peel in a Lambo. Running drills in my camo. They know what the M stand for. Still got fam in Hawaii, yeah. Couple fans in the lobby, yeah. Couple grand in my pocket, yeah. Couple grams of wasabi, yeah. Eye it up, no glasses. Light it up, no matches. Wife it up, no ratchets. Might turn my wife to an actress. And we gon' make a movie, no Kim K. Give a fuck about what your friends say. I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been higher than a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat.
I'm just sticking to the code, I keep it so G. She asked me what I smoke, I'm smoking OG. I don't fool with too many, only catch me 4 deep. Gotta stay away from snakes, swear these people so creep. I've been grinding for a minute, many labels so sleep. These rappers drop a song, be hot for about a week. I put Gucci on my toes, I keep some cold feet. I ain't paying for no hoe, you niggas know me. I'm about to body the beat. I keep me a hottie with me. She wanna for a fee. Give me that for free. Keep me some money on me. Smoking the gas, keep. You with me, sheesh. But need OG keep.
I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been higher than a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming on my landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, at the top of the class on a roll. Ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, at the top of the class on a roll. Ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go. Here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Long time no see, Mafia. What is going on with this hat? I look like a little kid. Got to straighten that out a little bit. But what is going on, Mafia? Long time no see. We were just live for the FOMC meeting, which kind of, I don't know, we got a little bit of a dump. Now we're pumping back up. Kind of a nothing burger in my own personal opinion, or not a nothing burger as far as the FOMC meeting, but just as far as the volatility, pretty minor volatility, at least during the stream as well as shortly after. But what is the next stop here for Bitcoin, guys, as we are back at $116,000? Is this thing going to break down? Is it going to break up? I'm going to cover some of the key levels. It's going to be a shorter stream here, guys, and I know I say that every day, but we were just live for 3 hours. So I'm going to do a quick little market update on Bitcoin. We'll take a look at some of the altcoins, and then we're going to wrap up here. No sound? No way. Yo, shout out to, who said it? Shout out to, Alt Sniper. Shout out to you, bro. You sniped that. You scammed me, bro. I got scammed in my own chat. But yeah, you guys should be able to hear me. Let me know if you guys can't hear me. You guys, we should be good. I got my levels here looking pretty good. Could we get a bonk check, Frankie? Shout out to Drizzy. Yes, we can take a look at bonk. Actually, funny enough, I came to my chart, and for some reason, Bonk was on the screen. I don't know why. I actually was just looking at it. So, yes, we can take a look at Bonk today. We're going to be here forever. Shout out to the Panda Prophet. I don't know if you're talking about price action or the live stream, but yeah, he's probably gonna. He probably has to reload. Shout out to Jesse. Let's go. But yeah. We got a lot to look at here, guys, kind of, because we already covered it earlier today. But I wanted to get here for the typical CandleMafia that shows up at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to cover the price action with you guys. We're currently holding above that value area low, sitting at about $115,000. So hopefully we can not lose this level, guys, because if we do lose it or push up to the golden pocket at 117 to 118K, we could see that bigger correction. We'll break it all down for you guys. 4-hour live stream. Shout out to Jesse in the chat. He is our like police, guys. Don't forget to smash that like button. Every 100 likes we get gets you guys closer to some free crypto on Friday night's live stream. Shout out to JQ, said no coffee. I do have some black coffee in this cup here, but I am down to 1 cup a day, guys. I can only drink 1 cup a day. I got high blood pressure, or I don't know, I'm at risk of high blood pressure or something. I wonder why. Maybe it's because I'm super hyper screaming on live stream all day. But yeah, 2-hour stream. Let's go. Shout out to Regular Guy Trades. Welcome in. We got Servando Estrada in the chat. Welcome in. We got Crypto ITO in the chat. We got Keith, long time no see, said back again. Welcome in, guys. Shout out to anybody who watched the FOMC stream, which was yeah, quite it was a snore fest as it typically is. Listening to that guy talk up there is insane. But without further ado, guys, smash that like button. He's back. My goodness, does this guy my goodness, this guy's a machine. Shout out to ICG. We're back, baby. We're back. We were gone for like 20 minutes. But let's go ahead and jump on into the chart. Drink up, Regular Guy Trades. Let's go. Salute to the CandleMafia. And let's go ahead and jump on into the charts and take a look at some of these key levels and what is coming next for the Bitcoin price action. Let's get into it. Yo, why do I hate the way this hat looks? Real quick, guys. Hang on one sec. Why am I hating on this hat so much? This hat looks super awkward for some reason. But anyway, let's see. We got Sam in the chat. What is going on? We got Jay Violet Nirvana. Welcome in, guys. Thank you for being here. High blood pressure gets better in the bear market. Yeah, shout out to Crypto Chica. The doctor was like, yeah, you have slight warning signs of high blood pressure. Here I am on 11 cups of coffee before I talk to them. I'm like, I wonder why that's happening. But yeah, maybe it is this absolute pucker fest in the crypto market, guys. So let's go ahead and jump on in here. Now, obviously, we did get some FOMC. They call this the FOMC F Fest, guys. Just just absolute chop fest here. But we did sweep, right? We swept below this value area low with some 15-minute bullish divergences. Nice little bull divs here. We did reclaim that value area, and we were looking at some local levels a little while ago here, looking at this Fibonacci retracement, playing around with this golden pocket 786, which is a local level of resistance here. Now, if you guys were not tuned into the FOMC stream, it was obviously a 25 basis point cut, which was what was expected and not what we wanted for an absolute explosion out of here, obviously. But I was not anticipating that, right? We were anticipating the 25 basis point cut, which is obviously the higher probability because the Fed Watch tool is literally right, I think, about every time. Every time I look at it, it winds up being correct. But with if we got the 50 basis points, right, it could have given us like some kind of crazy rip to the upside. If we wanted that rate cut, not that it can't, still be the catalyst, but Powell, in my opinion, sounded kind of hawkish. I mean, he definitely didn't sound super dovish. So it could have been the catalyst, right, to kick us out of here, get above that golden pocket, shoot into the 786, and break on out of here into new all-time highs. But obviously, the 25 basis points was priced into the market, as we talked about yesterday on the market update that we dropped. Actually, was not live yesterday, so every single weekday, except for Tuesday, live right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, yeah, I mean, what happened? We just got kind of a chop fest here, but we have swept below that value area low sitting at $115,000 with those 15-minute bullish divergences. Not really necessarily like the giga-long signal to go to $1 million. We still got to get above this 786. Locally, guys, sitting here at about $116,121. Let's get up here, right? If we could flip this to support, I will be looking at the bigger level of resistance here between the 786, and you might be saying the 786 is down here. We're looking at the full 786 sitting there in confluence with the daily. The reason I am looking at this level, again, this is not the major level on the chart, in my opinion. This is just a local retracement on our way to the bigger Fibonacci retracement, which obviously does sit, up here in that 117.5 to 118.5 zone. So, like, from a higher time frame perspective, guys, I would still say, just taking all this stuff off the chart, right, I would still say, right, this is the bigger level of resistance, and then $112,000 to $113,000 is going to be the bigger support, right? So these are still the bigger levels we're looking at. Yes, I am still holding my long position on Bitcoin, as we talked about a few minutes ago. Got about 2K locked in, 1,600 unrealized, so I did lock in a little extra profit there. And if we do pull back to 112 to 113K, guys, I may potentially look to add to that position as well as look for new long positions. So the biggest levels are going to be sitting here. 112 to 113K. We got the golden pocket value area high and the anchored VWAP from the low of the from $107,000, right? This is probably not going to be confluent if we do come back down here, but we still have the golden pocket, the 786, and the value area high. We also, if we take a look at the liquidation heat maps, you guys can see we also still have some of that liquidity sitting here between 114 and pretty much down to about $112,000 here. So we got the liquidity sitting above. We got the liquidity sitting below. The question is, which one will get hit first? And I would say, based off market cipher, with our bearish divergences into the daily here, if we reject from where we are now, or the if we are topped out here at about 117K, and we are going to continue that drop to the downside, which I would say, 10-hour bearish divergence, 12-hour bearish divergence. We also have the daily money flow coming out, all the bearish stuff that we have been looking at recently as we tapped into this key level of resistance. Could indicate, right, a pullback from here, right? So, I'm not going to make any, crazy calls here, whether we're going to get the shot down or shot up first. We are closer to this liquidity, but the bearish divergences do point downward. So I would say I'm pretty neutral short term, just simply waiting for those bigger levels to get hit. Now, honorable mention, we do have the weekly MPOC and the daily MPOC sitting here at about 114,250. So that's kind of like an local intermediary level that I'll be looking at for potential scalps. But for the most part, bigger levels still sit up here, still sit down here. Other than that, we're kind of just chopping around here. And just the only other update I have is that if you guys remember, not yesterday because we were not live, but the day before, we were looking at this 10-hour green dot to print in order to potentially print a bearish divergence, right? When we see the, I'll even pull it back in bar replay mode here real quick. Right, this is what the chart looked like. We said, hey, well, if we get that 10-hour green dot, well, maybe that could give us the break of the high here. And what would that print? There's a bug. We would have that bearish divergence, right? That momentum wave would likely come up like this to give us that bearish divergence, helping us predict that crack of structure to the upside to print that 10-hour bearish divergence, right? And we wound up doing that, right? We did not push into the bigger level of resistance. This obviously happened. I'm toast here, guys. We were live for so long before. But we did get that 10-hour bearish divergence to print. Unfortunately, this did happen at 2 a.m. for me, so I did not take that trade. I very likely would be in this short position if I was on the charts at the time of getting the setup. But you got the bear divs. You got the, on top of that, you have your 2-hour money flow crossing over into the red. You have the 12-hour bearish divergence and red dot printing with your 45-minute money flow crossing into the red. Now, this is trying to come back up, but, just very choppy money flow here, as we've talked about umpteen times here on the previous live stream. So, lower time frame money flow, very hard to get a direction with, but that 12-hour red dot with the 15-minute money flow crossing into the red. We also have the 1-hour money flow attempting to cross into the red here. We're back in the green, but this could just be a lower high before continuing that bigger drop into the red money flow wave. And that with the 12 and 16-hour red dots does oftentimes indicate that you could continue that downtrend to lower prices. I'm indifferent here. I'm not holding a short. I'm only holding my long from 107K. So again, I am somewhat neutral here. If we want to come up and sweep these highs again, which is possible because remember, we do have that liquidity that we just looked at on the heat maps. So we could potentially look at this wick right here as understanding that there is liquidity up here. So unless we get if we get the push up, this is what I'm looking at, right? Sweep into this major level of resistance. This is the next place I would be interested in a long position. And then if we do not get that and the bear divs do wind up playing out and we get the push down here, this is where I'd be looking to add to my long position or potentially be looking for new longs. And obviously we have lower levels than that, but these are the biggest levels, right? I'm not going to cover like all the super, super lower levels right now. We covered them earlier today and, we're pretty far away from them. So I'm just simply sitting here sitting on my hands, waiting for those key levels to get tapped. If I do find a short entry, maybe we'll take one in the premium Discord a little bit later, maybe on a retracement or something like that, further drop to the downside. But as of right now, just holding the long position, kind of letting the market absorb the FOMC information and kind of see what happens here. But I would say Powell definitely had a little bit more of a hawkish tone, which is honestly not what we wanted. So I'm just kind of taking a neutral stance here, waiting for the key levels to get tapped. But just understand, guys, liquidity up here. This means that we can potentially look for SFPs or potential failed auctions, trading above the level, breaking back down below for the bigger drop down. But yeah, I mean, this is the level I'm waiting for personally. If we find a local entry up here to catch the bearish divergence dump, then that will be the case. But as of right now, I'm not holding anything. And that's my plan, right? Nice and simple. And as long as we hold on top of this value area low, technically the doorway to that point of control is open. That POC does sit at about 118,260, and the full zone here I have marked out as between 117.5 to 118.5. So maybe we want to come up and grab that liquidity first before the bigger drop, or maybe we want to come on down first, sweep some of that liquidity for a higher low and a potential higher high to continue up. The problem here, guys, is if we come down to 113 to 112K, we have to ask ourselves, right, what is this higher time frame money flow going to be doing at that point, right? You have your daily money flow attempting to come back into the green, but your 2-day is coming out, right? So, I would generally say money flow is coming out on most time frames, most significant time frames. And until this crosses into the green in a big way, I'm not going to take that as a serious signal until we really start coming up here. Other than that, right, lower highs and lower lows are still in the cards. And I honestly would have preferred to tap into this level anyway. So if we push in there, we'll look for the shorts. And if we push down here, we'll look for the longs. Other than that, locally, the only other thing I can look at, guys, we do have some local liquidity sitting down below this wick at about 114.4. I could see a scenario if we come on down to a lower time frame. You could see a scenario where we look at this as some kind of a volume profile, right? Maybe we, whether we come up here not or first or not, if we do come down, right, we could sweep that liquidity, but this will be more of a scalp position, right? I wouldn't really be looking at that as like a massive position. I'm really looking to add to the swing long if we come down here. This is definitely the bigger level in my opinion, but, this could change, right? Tomorrow, if we wind up coming down here, and this anchored VWAP is up here, well, that looks like much better confluence for a potential bigger bounce. But as of right now, I am definitely suspicious with the money flow coming out to continue to the downside overall. Obviously, I do prefer a bigger push up. But the charts very rarely lie, guys. And the 12-hour bear div is still printing. This isn't even confirmed yet. 16-hour bearish divergence still printing. Daily red dot also printing here when we take a look at our 90-minute money flow. Total chop fest here, guys. Total chop fest. I cannot wait for the money flow to clean up here on the lower time frames. This has been impossible to make a call off of for the most part. So hopefully we can get that to smooth out just a little bit. But other than that, guys, not really too much of an update. Hold on top of the value area low, looking up here towards that bigger level of resistance, which is honestly pretty much what we've been looking at here forever, right? I've been waiting. I was hoping FOMC would give us a bigger move so we have something new to talk about. At least if we can be up here trying to flip this to support, we can start talking about some higher levels. But at this point, right, like these are still the biggest levels of support and resistance in my opinion. I'm going to jump into chat here real quick. Let's see. Kick him out already. Shout out to Mars. Yeah, Jay Powell, man. And it is crazy, guys. Like, they really need to I know it's possible. I know it's possible for them to speak in more normal people terms. Someone said that he might have been a lawyer in his past. I don't know that at all. But it would make a lot of sense. I mean, he just talks in circles. He just kind of like spits out word vomit to just confuse everybody is what it seems like. And we even had a special guest at the FOMC stream, guys. Mark Zuckerberg was chilling in there. If you guys were watching the stream, you will have seen him asking his own questions. He was trying to get in there, and he's, we know Mark Zuckerberg holds a lot of Bitcoin. Come on. He just wanted to know. Let's see. Doge is pumping. Yes, so when we take a look at Bitcoin dominance, guys, let me come out of our replay mode there. I'll keep an eye on this as price action develops, but let me actually pull this fib one more time. I'm going to put an alert on this Fibonacci retracement. put an alert on the 786, and we'll see if we can push up there during the live stream. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of that last retracement, right? If we are just going to continue, if these bearish divergences are going to mark the top locally here, and we're going to continue the lower highs and lower lows, this is the Fibonacci retracement to look at. 116,762 to 116,300, right? Once you get above the 786 in this daily again, that's where we're looking up towards the POC. Until then, definitely going to be cautious of the lower high and lower low, just based off the divergences in money flow right now. And if that, if I do wind up taking a short up in these levels, I'll be happy to get stopped out of that. Hopefully I can get a good entry with a nice tight stop loss, and then stop us out here. Long continues to play out here. And then, really, like, for the next big trades, guys, like, this is the next level I'm looking at. I know I've said it a million times, but come on, Bitcoin. Push us up there. Let's get it. Let's see. Shout out to Gig Longbottom, said, "Wow, Frankie really hit it out of the park with that trade. I can't wait to see how the next one goes." Shout out to Gig Longbottom. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, listen, we're long from the bottom, and I'll tell you this. If we get a rejection here at this macro golden pocket, if we push up in here and we catch that short position, I am pretty decently out of this trade, to be quite honest with you. This was already like a partial position. I was looking for a potential second sweep of liquidity down here to double up on the position. Didn't happen, right? So we still caught it from the bottom, which is very nice. Still obviously made a decent amount of money on that. But yeah, I mean, we push up into that 117, 518K level. I am going to be looking for head shorts unless we just like rip up there and flip it to support like very aggressively, or it happens when I'm sleeping. If I'm up here and there's a setup, I'm going to take a shot, right? Because I don't mind. If I get stopped out for a small loss, the long continues to pay me out. Granted, it's not really going to continue to pay me out very much. Like you can see here, I'm $1,657 in unrealized profit. If we push up to like 118K, it's like I'll be up 2K, right? So like there's not a lot left in this position. So, I will be looking for potentially new long positions down at those key levels I just brought up, and potentially look to add to that position if we come back down to sweep that liquidity below 112 to 113K. But at the end of the day, right, it's all about risk management, guys. I've gone over this so many times. I won't like harp on this, but you can take a trade, right? Like, it's okay to get stopped out. The key here is to make more money on your winners than your losers, right? Like, and I know it sounds so trivial. I know it sounds so stupid and simple, but that is the truth. That is the secret to trading. You can have a less than 50% win rate, and if you manage your risk and you take good losses, you can still remain profitable. But the reason I think a lot of traders fail is because that's not the answer they want to hear, right? The answer they want to hear, I mean, even though we do get the nice entries down at the lows, right? Like, they think, like, having a fire setup, like we have this set up in the Discord. I've gone over this many times. I've shown it in the Discord. Having this setup is not going to do you any good if you don't know how to manage the trade, manage your emotions, and take profit along the way, right? Like, if you just hold this and we reject here and nuke that back down to entry and you get stopped out at a loss, right? Like, you had plenty of time to take money off the table here. The best setups in the world, most people are looking for that setup. Most people are looking for that confirmation that's going to give them guaranteed winning trades. But once you're in that position, if you do not know how to manage it and control your emotions and pay yourself and move your stop loss, if you don't know how to do that, it's pointless to have the fire setup, right? Because you're just going to lose money anyway. So, if we got stopped out of this, I would have taken a small loss, right? But the gain was much bigger, right? This position, my entry is here at 107.7, right? 107.70, I think is what it is. But, the risk to reward here up to our first major take profit, which was 115K, right? I would have taken a small loss on this, and it would have paid out 10x, right? Not actually 10x, but close to it. Of the loss, that is, right? So it's like you could take 5 losses in a row like this. You get one winner, and it pays you out plus profit, right? It covers the losses plus profit. This is so important. This is the secret to trading. Everybody looks for the secret of trading. There it is, right here, live on the Frank Candles YouTube channel. Is risk management. It is always going to be more important than your win rate. Obviously, having a higher win rate is nice, but the market is essentially, like, when you really dig into the probabilities of trading, even when you have like a random statistic, right? Like, even if you have a 50% win rate, a coin toss, you can literally flip a coin, long or short, heads is long, tails is short, right? And take those trades with good risk management and still wind up having very little information or knowledge about TA, still wind up being profitable if you can manage that risk correctly. Very, very important. So we'll see. Maybe we long the tippy bottom here. Maybe we can short the tippy top, maybe get in on a retracement or push up into our next level. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Shout out to Gig Longbottom. One thing is for sure, I'll be talking about that trade, the next one that I take. Let's see. Holy smokes, live again. How do you do it, bruh? I mean, that Moss Energy water is more like mass water. Yeah, shout out to Al Jr. We're still live, baby. We're still live. But yeah, we'll see what happens here, guys. We'll see what happens. But taking a look at Bitcoin dominance, what I was going to talk about before, we are seeing the continued drop here. I wouldn't really, this is nothing to write home about, in my opinion. But if we take a look at this, right, once again, right, high time frame money flow coming out, 2-day money flow coming out. You got the green dot printing, a little bit of a bull div, right? Any kind of continuation up here, guys, I'm still going to be anticipating the bearish market structure to continue. Well, number one, right, the market structure is bearish. That's just simple TA, right? Number two, money flow is coming into the red, right? Like this indicates the trend will continue down. Not too bad, right? And this is what we've seen in the past. I'm literally going to cover this for 30 seconds because I'm quite frankly, no pun intended, I'm kind of sick of talking about it, right? This is exactly what we saw last time we had the big capitulation on Bitcoin dominance, right? The massive drop to the downside, very good for altcoins. We had we took a look at the RTY, right? The RTY literally wicked up, not the try. Right, we literally had the RTY wick directly into this high from back here in November of 2021. Is that November 2021? Yeah. So, this thing still, if we can get the breakout here, this is like looking at the altcoin market, right? This is the lower cap stocks. If we get this breakout, oftentimes you will see the altcoins follow, right? And hopefully that can follow with Bitcoin as well. But you got this tapping on the high. You have total 2 tapping on the high. You have Ethereum with the weekly money flow crossover into the green. Very large, high time frame, bullish signal. That's an environment where we can see an alt season come in. Now, obviously, like I said, Powell did not sound super dovish in my opinion. That really would have been what we were hoping for. Could that potentially step on things? Maybe. But we're going to play it level to level as we are traders here. I am not in the business of guaranteeing, right, calling this low and be like, that has to be the low, right? We have to be open, right? If we get that lower high on this Fibonacci retracement, the lower low could come in exactly like we looked for right here. We got that to play out. So, we'll see. We have to cover it level to level. Other than that, really not too much to update. Dominance still coming down, money flow coming out. So I wouldn't say like none of that. We're not seeing like massive rejections on the RTY. We're not seeing massive pumps on dominance. We're not seeing massive dumps on Ethereum or anything like that. So my sentiment remains the same here, guys. I do still think we could potentially see that final all-time high come in on Bitcoin. Eventually see the altcoins follow, but it might take a little bit of time. It's when you get that first rate cut, right? What I was hoping to hear from Powell was that they were going to start a larger rate cutting cycle, which he did not really hint to in that meeting. So, it could just take a little more time. It could be a little bit, a little bit more effery, right? Like, who knows? This thing can do anything, guys. We can come sweep the low again and then come up. We can go down to the 786, bing bong around, and then break out, right? I'm not here to try to guess exactly when this is going to happen. But one thing I can say is if we cannot get around above this golden pocket or we cannot get above this 786, I'm going to start worrying about Bitcoin, to be quite honest. Like, it's macro lower high is either going to come in at the golden pocket or the 786 is what we look at every single time. And I don't know. It's not going to be 100% probability, but I think like the last 10 times we've looked at this on a higher time frame, it's played out. And it has not marked the bear market, at least yet. Maybe this 786 rejection, right? If I pull it up over here on a clean chart, right? Maybe this 786 retracement, I mean, technically, I guess it's not impossible that the high is in on Bitcoin at 125-ish K, right? 124.5. Maybe that was the lower high for the bear market to come in. That's not my base case, at least as of right now. As long as we stay above 107K, that is not my base case. My base case will be as long as we could stay above 107K, well, then we could potentially still see that new all-time high. The problem is once we lose 107K, that's where it looks a lot more aggressive, especially if we get the rejection from this golden pocket or 786, right? Because you're looking for the lower low, and then at that point, you're getting accepted into your massive value area, right? Leading you down to about $91,000, right? You lose 107K, you're getting accepted. Whoops. You're getting accepted back into this volume profile. The chances of this filling are very, very likely. Auction market theory, guys. It's as old as time. I don't remember. I forget. What was this guy's name? Creighton C. told us who invented auction market theory. I forget what it was. Some guy back in the day. Obviously, I did not invent this stuff. But the chances of that range filling become greater and greater. And when we see the money flow coming out, when we see these massive rejections off retracement levels, like you have to think to yourself, like if you break this low, it does start to look pretty weak for Bitcoin, in my opinion. Yeah, but until we do that, right, we still can potentially just bing bong around here, maybe put in another higher low and then break out. So I'm not going to try to call the exact roadmap of what's going to happen here. Oftentimes we can, but with money flow just looking so sketchy right now, just bing bonging up and down, just gross money flow, very hard to call a confident direction. Let's see. Do you think we could be holding this value area high of our upper range? Maybe you're talking about this one. Oh, there's the alert. Maybe we hold this value area low. Yeah, potentially. This is just what I would look at locally, right? But if we pull up the, again, I would say the more important thing is staying above this value area low, right? Once you break this value area low and these daily MPOCs, I'm looking down here. Or daily and weekly MPOC, I'm looking down here. But at the end of the day, right, you get inside the range, hold the value area low. We got a little slip of it on the FOMC volatility, and now we're back above it, right? So the doorway to the PLC is still open. If we didn't have the FOMC volatility, I'd have to come up here and be like, guys, literally nothing to update. I'm just still waiting for this level. With the caveat of like, hey, bearish divergences. This is kind of what makes me look for potential entries on retracements for shorts. But, yeah, I mean, as long as you stay above here, the doorway to the POC is open. And that's my favorable resistance level. Doesn't mean you can't reject from here, but it's my favorable level. So we'll see what happens. And, it shows for my actions, right? Like, I'm not short, right? I'm just holding my long position. So, yeah. Let's see. We should have a leaderboard for how long you can get Frankie to speak on a question. Shout out to Giga Longbottom. 45 minutes, 25 minutes. Shout out to Giga Longbottom. Let's see. Kyle said, can you take a look at GameStop? GameStop? Yeah, we could take a look at GameStop. Let's see. Man. I'm not going to do a lot of TA on this, I'll just give you some local targets. You didn't tap the value area low, but you got pretty much the full fill of this range. You're back above the PLC. I'd say the next target to the upside would be about 29.92. Money flow back in the red here, back in the green on the 2-day. But yeah, I mean, this would be a level I would look at. Do you have confluence here on the retracement level? Yeah, I would say this is the next big target. If you do continue up, I would be cautious of this value area high, deviation above for a potential acceptance back into the range. Obviously, it's going to depend on what money flow looks like up here. All right, if you have massive high time frame money flow crossovers into the green, all right, I mean, even this 3-day, I mean, nah, I wouldn't pay attention to that. But if you get up here, you have your money flow coming up, all that stuff. I would have to look at the chart at this time, right? You could try to figure out the probability of flipping this to support and getting a bigger breakout. But this is definitely big resistance sitting between about 32.75 and 29.82. And there's your volume profile. With your POC sitting at 22.39, value area low sitting at 21.28. And yeah, I mean, if you did come back down, technically this value area low is untapped. So that is still going to be key support. So these should be some local levels or current levels that I would look at on GameStop. There you go. You can screenshot those if you please to get them on your chart. So there you go. Quick little stop in on GME. Let's see. Solana XRP. Yeah, we'll take a look at Solana and XRP. No problemo. We're going to pump hard soon. Shout out to Seth Shepard. Come on, baby. Send it up. Send it up. Send it up. Step on those bear divs. 1980, shout out to It's Happening. You're talking about the volume profile. Hang on. I'll find out for you guys right now. Let's see. Pepe is pumping. Let's go. Traders got a trade. Shout out to Multi-Sig Dummy. Auction Market Theory. Origin, auction market theory, there we go, was developed by J. Peter Stoudemire in the 1980s. Contrary to popular belief, I did not invent them, guys. I'm kidding. I don't think anybody thinks that. So, yeah, there we go. 1980s. Old theory there. But it does still work out very, very well when trading. So there you go. Bada boom, bada bing. Should we run some beats here, guys? Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably just gonna be staring at these charts. Not too much to look at. Is that too much? Is it playing? Can you guys hear it? Do you want the music? Do you want no music? Let me know. Just kind of fills in the blanks there. Don't fade meme coins. All right, let's take I'm gonna jump into Solana real quick. Solana. Let me pull it up on the template. Yeah, Solana continuing up towards the value area high. We got the rejection from the value area high with those nice, beautiful bearish divergences. We covered that earlier today. I would say, listen, at this point on Solana, Tony D, can you drop a poll for the music? Should we keep this music going? Because I might make it a regular part of the stream. It's just kind of like we have it subtly in the background. If I have to like sit there and stare at a chart, we're not just sitting here in awkward silence. If you could run a poll, guys, let me know if you want the music. You want me to cut the music? Do you like the sweet serenading sound of your boy Frankie Candle's voice? Or do you want to hear the beats? Play the tunes. Let's go. Shout out to Jury. Let's go, baby. But yeah, I would say the next key levels of resistance for Solana here, you know, I wouldn't really say, let me see, do we have an MPOC down here? What are we bouncing off here? Very rare that you're bouncing for no reason. Was this, let's see here. Of course, it won't show me the MPOCs in bar replay mode. So yeah, I mean, do we even have like we don't have a daily level there or anything? Okay, yeah, we did have a daily here. So you're bouncing off the daily currently. Yeah. I mean, you're bouncing off the daily. You're not bouncing for no reason, but I would say, guys, it is still, right, 3-hour money flow, 4-hour money flow, kind of flat, 3-hour money flow coming out, 2-hour money flow in the red, and then you take a look at the daily, right? Like this money flow, green dot looking to come in, but this money flow is generally trending to the downside, in my opinion. Maybe we could fake back out into the green, but I would say as far as key levels, I'm going to focus on the key levels here because market cipher is quite choppy, value area high, sitting at 248.66. This was the final target through the profile, guys. Value area low, POC, value area high. Confusing, scary, messy rotation, but you do eventually get that law to play out, giving you the rotation of the profile. Shout out to our boy. Who was it? Shout out to our boy Peter. Let's go. Shout out to our boy Jay Peter. So you get that to play out in full. You're getting the rejection with the bear divs, but I would still say value area high is the key level. 248.40 is going to be the big level to break above. And it's not just that. It is also going to be, is this the full fib? Yeah. This is your big level of resistance. Daily 786 value area high. If you can't break out of here, I would expect a big rejection. Get above here, start flipping it to support. Well, hey, now you're above the macro 786. You could look to crack this high, and that's where you could push into this next extension zone sitting between about 305 and 324. That's the level to break above. Get above 256. Hold it as support. Get above that 786. You're looking up here into the 300s. That's what I'd look at. All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna sit. I'm gonna sit out on money flow for now. Just be aware. You're inside the profile. You know, something like this. You get in. Sometimes you get the retracements. If you can't get back out, you go ahead back down to the POC 786. Right. This is still the biggest level of support on Solana. If we continue down, 218.56 to 209.54. Shout out to DJ. That's a funny name, making that comment. Shout out to DJ. Said, I'm trying to listen to you, but getting distracted by the music. My ADHD. Shout out to DJ. Let's go. All right. Shout out to Elliot. Welcome in. Says, Frankie, do you do TA for gold too? We actually did take a look at gold earlier today on the stream. We could check back in on this real quick. Pull it up here. So yeah, I mean, we're just in our extension zone. Definitely resistance. We have some 4-hour bearish divergences printing here, giving you a little pullback. But your weekly here, this is really what I'm looking for. This next weekly red dot, I think, will probably mark if you're going to get that bigger pullback. This is what I'm hoping for, right? Get gold to pull back. Give crypto its time to shine. You still technically have the bearish divergence. Lower highs. Lower highs, I know it's hard to see, right? Lower highs, higher highs, into a key level of resistance. I mean, you're up against big resistance, right? If we can get that weekly bear div and red dot to print, that's where I think you see the bigger pullback. And we'll keep an eye on that as time develops. The one thing I would say here on gold is the daily does look like it might want one more push up. The reason I say that is because this momentum wave, even if we cool off a little bit more, get the green dot on the daily, then you get a daily bearish divergence into that last extension level. If we break out of here, I mean, dang, man, gold is probably going to fly, in my opinion. But you got to get out of this resistance. I'm hoping you get clung up in here, and you get the correction from there. And that weekly red dot is going to be the big sign that I'll be looking for. 2-day red dot confirmed. 3-day red dot looking to print. No bearish divergence on the 3-day, but you do have the red dot coming. But then you have the 5-day bear div, the 6-day bear div, the weekly bear div looking to potentially print. That's what I'm hoping for. Get the drop down. So we'll see. We'll cover this as it develops. But there you go. Quick gold analysis on a crypto channel. How often do you see that? Shout out to Hamza. Welcome in, bro. He says, bro, love from Pakistan. Hey, shout out to you, brother. Thank you for tuning in. All the way from Pakistan. Shout out to you, brother. Welcome in. Let's see. Let's take a look. I've noticed that money flow isn't accurate lately. Shout out to Crypto AI. Yeah, I was actually just going over that. It's just been very choppy. When price action is choppy, you are going to see your money flow be choppy. And it just makes it difficult to read, right? So what do I do in those situations, right? Two things, right? Number one, I just put less weight on it, right? I just use it as less of a significant confirmation if it's coming into the red, into the green, into the red, into the green, right? You just can't really take much information from it. And another thing you can do is just pay attention to the higher time frames, right? Like 2-day is generally trending out here. Is this going to be a big fake out on your money flow, or are you going to get a lower high for the continuation of it coming out? The higher time frames are always going to move a little bit more slowly and smoothly, and it deletes a little bit of that noise that you get on the lower time frames, right? The 12-hour in the red, in the green, in the red, in the green, 16-hour in the red, in the green, in the red, in the green, right? And then the daily even here, like getting a little potential fake out there as well. So you can stick to the higher time frames, or what I do is I just pay more attention to the market structure and the key levels and the liquidity. Future Millionaire says, shout out to the person who gifted me a membership or a sub. Shout out to Future Millionaire. That was Golden. That was Golden in the FOMC stream, very likely. Shout out to Golden, the absolute GOAT. Gifted 100 memberships, dropped mad super chats. Golden always supporting the channel and the Mafia, getting you guys those memberships. Shout out to Boat Money. He said, hey, Frankie, what is the indicator you have mentioned before that helps pull the daily and weekly MPOCs? It is the periodic volume profile. I have this. I have a tutorial video on that in the beginner series on the YouTube channel for completely free. If you're new here, run through our beginner series from start to finish, and it will get you years of technical analysis education in, I don't know how long it would be, probably a couple hours of watching those videos. But I show you exactly how to pull those MPOCs and exactly how to set a template up here. So if you want to look at where those MPOCs are, you can just click a little button up here and have them pop up on the chart. And then you can mark them off with horizontal rays so they stay there. And then when you're going to go back to Market Cipher, pull up your Market Cipher template. Want to go back to Lux Algo? Lux Algo template. Nice way to simplify and clean up your charts here. So there we go. Taking a look at Ethereum. Let's jump on in here real quick. Attempting to crack above this value area high. But remember, guys, like the real key level, I'm just going to focus on like bigger levels here on the altcoins for now. Oh, I was like, where's the TA on Ethereum here? Yeah, so looking at this local range, like this is really what I'm paying attention to on Ethereum. You're still within your local volume profile. If you break out here, it's like, it's nice. But really the line in the sand here is the 786. This is the full 786 pulled from the high to the low. Breaking above this level at 47.80 is going to be the level to potentially indicate all-time highs. The only reason why I'm suspicious of this being the case right now, like just getting up here, flipping this and going, hopefully it is the case. But again, when you look at your money flow, on your higher time frames, your daily money flow is very clearly, right? It doesn't mean, right, you had money flow coming out here as well. It faked back out into the green. But more often than not, like this general trend is likely what continues. And even the fact that we already got a fake out here into a bigger green wave, like that's the fake out you're hoping for. You're hoping for this to come back up into a much bigger green wave. But, you know, this is generally trending out over time, right? So this makes me very suspicious of lower highs and lower lows. This is what we look for when money flow is coming out. High, low. Lower high, lower low, right? Or more importantly, it would be high, low, lower high, lower low, which would call for a cracker structure to the downside here of about 4130. But locally, I'm just watching this volume profile. Maybe we come up, maybe we play with this, maybe we get slammed back in. Once you lose that value area low or have the inability to break out of it, that is where you look for the rotation through, right? So if we come up here and we can't get out, maybe we even squeak out and get accepted back in. Once you're in this profile, the doorway to the POC is open. So if you want this thing to break out, you're hoping to get above the value area low, shoot above all this, and more importantly, get above the 786. I just don't think money flow is pointed in that direction. Hopefully it's a fake out. If we get the fake out, well, great. That's really hard to predict, but then we could look for all-time highs. But I would be very suspicious with that on the daily money flow coming out and 2-day money flow. It doesn't look bad, right? I wouldn't say his money flow looks bad, but it is definitely trending out. So keep that in mind. Let's see. Litecoin. I don't own Sol or Sui. Shout out to Seth Shepard. I own both Sol and Sui. I own a lot more Sol than I do Sui, though. Not hating. Where'd that go? No hating. Just don't. Shout out to Seth Shepard. Let's go, baby. XRP. Let's jump into XRP real quick. Shout out to Spiritual Trading Podcast. Thank you for the super chat, bro. I appreciate you. He says, Frankie, please take a look at my doodle. D-O-O-D, ticker sign D-O-O-D. I'm still G-A for you. Shout out to Spiritual Trading. Welcome in, bro. I will try to take a look at dude. I will write this down. If we have time, I will take a look at that for you. Thank you for the super chat. And I'm going to get through the main ones, and then we'll jump into some of the requests. All right, let's take a look at XRP. Again, I mean, low-key feels silly. I know some people watching this right now were not in the earlier stream, so I will go over it, but it does feel kind of silly because we're just kind of in the same scenario. Hold above 291.15. Doorway to the POC remains open, right? Flip the POC. We could look for the full fill of the range. If money flow was not so chopped up right now, I would have a clear idea of how probable these fills of the volume profile are, right? Typically, they are likely, regardless of money flow, but usually the money flow is really the kicker, right? Because if we have money flow crossing into the green on time frames like the 12-hour, like we have right now, maybe you could continue to look for higher lows and higher highs, right? Which would look for the full fill of the range. So the key levels I would look at here, I'm going to get rid of this because we talked about this. Whoops, the heck? We looked at this on the live stream before we came up here. That was a big zone. You have your golden pocket, your 786. You had the POC and the weekly in confluence with the golden pocket. You also had your anchored VWAP. I mean, again, looking at it from a daily perspective, money flow, again, chopped up. I wish I can call for a more confident move here, but, you have your high, you have your low, your lower high, your lower low. Your lower high was likely to come in between this golden pocket and 786. So in my opinion, as long as you stay within this range, the next key level to break above is that 786. Once you break the 786, looking up towards that value area high. Other than that, if we come down first, I will be looking at the value area low and the golden pocket 786 retracement. If we lose the 786 at 280, that is where we're looking for the bigger drop down towards about 250 to 260. I'm going to leave it right there because I don't want to overcomplicate things. Even if you don't look at the Fibonacci retracement, it's like, as long as you're in this range, guys, the POC is still open. And I know it kind of gets scary on these drops to the downside, but just look at something like Solana. Right, Solana gets in, you hit the POC, you get the pullback, right? You almost tap that value area low, but what happens? You just you're still in the profile, you still get to the POC, you still get to the value area high. So when it comes to XRP, it's kind of like the same thing, right? You stay inside this range, you can get the pullbacks even to retest the value area low, but as long as you remain in the range, the POC and the value area high are still open. So that's what I would look at on XRP. Now, if you do get the drop down and you lose the 786 to 280, that's more bearish in my opinion. I'll be looking to take out this low. And then the next key level of support will be sitting at around 250 to 260. So that's what I'll be looking at on XRP. Jumping into Cardano real quick here. Yeah, you got to get out of this value area. It's very simple, right? Rejected the high, back in the range. If you can't get out of here, POC is next, right? We have a lot of confluence down here. You have the golden pocket. You have your golden pocket value area low, your 786. You have your, this is the confluent area of support. You can look at local levels as well. Let me take some of this off the chart here real quick. Right, and just to show you how I build this out, right? Like pull from the low, pull from the absolute low to the high. That gives you the golden pocket value area low confluence. 7862, right? So it's kind of a big zone. But at this point, you go from your low to your POC to your high. You reject the high. If you can't break out of here, the roadmap is probably going to be POC value area low. So for me personally, this is not a place where I'm interested in trading Cardano. I would much rather wait for the bigger drop down to the big key levels. Doesn't mean you can't take off from here, But if you do, you just got to be real careful around this value area high. You got to flip this to support and like kind of get a breakout on volume. Other than that, right, I would be very suspicious of coming in, getting stuck in, and getting another drop down. Why? Well, look at your daily money flow. Coming out. This indicates high, low, lower, high, lower, low. Right? Heading down towards the POC golden pocket. And I would separate this into two zones probably. Say maybe your anchored VWAP is not necessarily confluent. There's no guarantee you have to come down to these fib zones either, but yeah, I mean, it's just a big zone, to be honest. It's the same zone I had on the chart, right? It's like before. It's 61 to 73 cents. Like that's the big zone. And once you lose this 786, that's much more bearish in my opinion, because we have a 786 right here that we're holding, a macro 786 that if lost is going to be very bearish in my opinion, right? So if we do get a bigger correction, let's say we do get stuck into the range, really want to see something like that and get this thing going. But right now, key levels of resistance above $1.01 at the value area high. Value area POC sits at 72 cents. Value area low sitting at 65 cents. And then the 786 sitting at 62 cents. That's what I would look for. Massive resistance. I don't want to say massive resistance, but just like important resistance. And just to show this, right? I know it gets confusing when the volume profiles bing bong around a little bit. But if I pull this up on Ethereum, we talked about this at the time we were trading around here. You have your deviation above the high, the breakdown into the range, right? At that point, you come back up, you kind of fake it out, you get back in. Once you can't break out of this volume profile, guys, POC is likely. Oh my God, we're pumping. Well, the full fill of this range is very likely. And what happens? You end up chopping around the POC, and what happens? Right into the value area low. Once you hit that value area low, you can look for the reverse of that rotation. Flip the POC, look to go to the high. What do we have here? Deviation above. You chop around, so it's like not impossible to come play around up here a little bit and then continue through the range. And money flow on the daily would point towards that. It doesn't mean you can't break out, right? But money flow would definitely point towards that. That's why I'm kind of suspicious of just kind of yeeting up out of here and sending it to new all-time highs from where we're at. But either way, right, where are the longs best taken? At the value area low. Where are the shorts best taken? At the value area high. This is not a place where I would take a long. Why? Because we're approaching resistance. Like, why would I take a long, right? Looking at this price action, it's kind of similar to like this price action. Why would I just like long into resistance like that? It's just not something I do. So again, like, could you have ripped up here? Sure, right? But like 9 out of 10 times, you're going to be better off waiting for the value area low, even though not a lot of people have patience, right? Everyone just wants to get involved, right? Like, not a lot of people have a lot of patience to come on down to those key levels, but you really do have to remain patient. It's gonna make you more money than just like trying to jump into every position. Oh my God, we're pumping. Let me long. Well, what are you longing into? You're longing into brick walls here. Once in a while, you'll get lucky and you'll just get the breakout. And honestly, I kind of hope that's the case here. I hope the TA gets stepped on and we just yeet on out, but I just can't say that's the highest probability scenario based off the charts. Let's see. Yeah, we'll take a look at Litecoin. We took a look at Solana, Ethereum, XRP, and we'll take a look at Dogecoin. We took a look at Cardano. Let's take a look at Litecoin. Oops. So yeah, we got a beautiful bounce off the golden pocket daily MPOC. I don't remember the last time we looked at this. You got your low, your high or low right on that golden pocket daily MPOC. At that point, you can look for a break of structure to the upside. You get it. We're now accepted. Right now, you're kind of in no man's land, right? You have a profile here, but you're kind of really just in between these two massive profiles. You have this profile down here, 2 areas of balance. Balance number 1, balance number 2. Right? And right now, right, like just like up here, right? You kind of just bing bong around the 2 profiles, then you get accepted back in, back down to the low, back to the high, and now we're just bing bonging around these profiles. So 2 major doorways here, in my opinion. And I will bring up this local range again as well, but doorway to higher prices still remains 136.85. Got to get accepted into this profile to get the bigger move up towards about 230.93. This is pulled from the bull market of 2021. Massive, massive range. We're just hitting our head. We're hitting our head. We got to get above there. It's the same thing as Bitcoin hitting its head on its macro value area low. right? We came down, we traded below, we hit our head, finally we get accepted. Boom, you go right through that profile. Same thing on Litecoin. It's the same exact range too, just to be clear. Bull market volume profile. Bull market volume profile. We're kind of hanging out down here looking to break in and go to the high. So I can't stress how big of a level this is. You got to get above this and flip it if you can. Potentially big upside ahead, right? Now, taking a look at our higher time frame money flow, like the 3-day money flow still looking pretty healthy. Does not mean you can't get more pullbacks before going back up. And again, looking at the daily money flow is coming out, guys. I mean, again, the 3-day looks good, the daily looks bad, but what this could indicate is a little bit more chop or downside before finally getting above that that value area low at 136.61. The real doorway to higher prices. Local range. Do I have none of this? Oh, I do have this in. Nice. Let me actually just. So just looking locally here, right? You get your value area low, you flip it to support, POC is next. You're still within the profile. So I wouldn't say, with daily money flow coming out, again, it's like I have to anticipate any bounces to be lackluster bounces for lower highs and lower lows until this money flow scams back into the green. But if you have to think to yourself, if this is just going to come up, put in another lower high to continue that trend down, could be something like that, right? Where's that Fibonacci retracement come in at? Well, right there on the POC. So I would say if you want to break out here into the value area high or potentially above, I would say the level to break is going to be the POC 786 at 128.18. So I would definitely be careful. Local resistance, potential for a lower high and a lower low. If that money flow is going to cross over into the red and we're going to continue the downtrend, that would be where to look for it. And this money flow crossover would be something to keep an eye on. So there you go. And if you can get above that 786 POC, well, hey, value area high is your next key level. And then once you start breaking out of this, well, that's where you could start looking at your bigger range, right? At that same time, right, you're above the value area, above the local value area high, but you're also potentially looking to flip that macro value area low to support. So for right now, no need to get all caught up in the macro. Just keep an eye on this range. Potential lower high. Whoops. Watch that 786 and golden pocket. It is a zone. Don't forget that. So there you go. And money flow also just coming out as it is on everything else. Let's see. Make sure I didn't miss anything here in the chat. Doge. Yes, we will check Doge. Let's pull it up real quick. There she is. Oh, there we go. We got the break of the high here, guys. Very nice. Very nice. These will it break levels, that makes us 16 and 16 on the will it break levels based off your market structure and Fibonacci retracements, right? We have this golden pocket retracement, low to the high, low high, higher low. First level for that higher low to come in at is the golden pocket. We chopped around here, but wound up getting that break of structure to the upside. Low, high, higher, low, higher, high. That's what makes you anticipate that break of structure. We're now above the POC, which is very nice. So I would say we could take that off the chart now because we got it. I don't know why I didn't see that alert. But very simple here. Remain on top of this POC. And again, you can chop around here. This is the highest volume node within the profile. But if you could stay on top of this POC for the most part, next target is going to be sitting here between $34 and $41. Pretty simple. And it is also your macro golden pocket retracement. So very similar to Solana, right? You get into the range, you reject the POC, big old correction, higher low, higher high. And then once you stay on top of that POC, the next targets are going to be up towards that value area high. The actual value area high sits at 38 cents. 786 sits at about 40 cents. And then the golden pocket sits at about 35 cents. So that zone sits between 35 cents and 41 cents. 0.347 and 0.411. Daily money flow, not looking the best for a big continuation up, but let's just hope. You got the VWAP coming up. Let's just hope that green dot prints and that money flow drags up. But the bias here has to be that we're going to expect that money flow to cross over into the red until proven otherwise, right? That's just what we have to go with. So yeah, and to be quite honest, right? Like it's like you don't really have a lower high to look at. So pay attention to the volume profile here, to be quite honest. But POC sitting at 26 cents is the biggest key level of support to hold. Now we can take this off the chart because we know we bounced there, and it's all over. Actually, what I will do is I will take this off the chart, and then I'll take this golden pocket off the chart, and I will move this to the current high, which slightly moves that zone up. If we got some kind of crazy breakdown on Doge and we lose the POC for a massive drop down, value area low, 786, daily MPOC, weekly MPOC confluence down here is your biggest key level of support, 0.178 to 0.164. If you lose this value area low, definitely looking for a bigger drop down on Dogecoin. But something like this, isn't impossible if you come down there. You just don't want to lose this level. So yeah, but right now it looks pretty strong. Hold the point of control. Next target to the upside sits up here. There's Dogecoin. A lot of people want to see Bonk. Let's jump into Bonk real quick. Oh, hey, I forgot we had this. I don't think we actually tapped into the entry, but let's see here. Might have front run the value area low just slightly there. Yeah, man. Idea was right. Level did not get tapped unless... Where's that current value area low? That might be the answer right there. No, I moved it down. So yeah. So the idea here, guys, was a drop into the value area low, which we did get a little drop, but you just front run that value area low, which honestly would have looked a lot prettier if we could have tapped that. I'm actually surprised that it's not the current value area low. Let me pull it all the way to current. Was that it? Yeah, that might have been the move right there. Because you still have the balance here. Pull it into the right before the drop. Moves the value area up a little bit. Doesn't help us right now, but just to kind of show, right? I always like to show that like price very rarely bounces for no reason. Even front ran that level as well, so that doesn't really help us out. But either way, right? The thought process there was, hey, I would much rather look for a drop to the downside into the value area low for a long. If I were looking to actually take this trade, we were just using it as an example. But if I were actually looking to take that trade, I probably would have missed it, right? Because we would not have tapped that value area low. Not a problem, right? It's not a problem. But would have just been unfortunate because you're pretty much getting exactly what you would hope for to play out, right? You come on down. If you hit the value area low, POC is next. But you go up to that POC, you flip the POC. Right now we're holding above it. Next target to the upside will be 2927. I would really feel a lot more confident about that if you had tapped that value area low 786, though, if I'm being honest. But it doesn't mean, again, you're above the POC, right? So the doorway to that value area high is definitely open. So 2927, the next target to the upside. And if we continue down here, I would still say this key level remains the same. You have the trend line. And actually, the fact that you have a little bit of time elapsing here, value area low 786 and that trend line are actually a little bit more confluent here now as well. But until we lose that POC, I would say the next target to the upside is 2927. If you wind up getting a lower high and you break down, I would still be looking down here towards the 786 value area low and this trend line. Higher low, higher high. All right, 786 gives you an area to look for a higher low. The value area low is a place where you would want to look for longs anyway, and then the trend line would just be nice to continue the uptrend. And actually, you know what I'll do here? I'll actually take that setup because technically, unless it plays out in full here, right, you still have an opportunity for that to be the case. Not a trade signal, just an idea, right? But yeah, I mean, preferably, you could just cook. Just cook, man. Listen, I have no problem with sending these things to the upside. It would just have to be on, massive money flow fakeouts. Money flows in the red on the daily, 2-day, money flow in the red, 3-day, money flow in the green. Just super choppy there. Hate it. I hate it, guys. I love how, I forgot who said it, but I love how you guys are noticing that as well. Wonky price action equals wonky money flow action. Let's see. BNB. Is BNB flying? That would be good. There we go, baby. We talked about BNB way back. Well, I don't want to say way back, but one thing we were looking at on BNB was BNB is oftentimes a first mover, guys. So this is kind of why this could be the argument for the money flow fakeouts. With the environment that we're in, and again, Powell was kind of hawkish in my opinion, but seeing the dominance come down, seeing the bullish chart on ETH, seeing Solana get the move up, seeing Crow start to get some action, BNB, Crow, some of the exchange tokens are oftentimes the first movers and leading indicators to a potential alt season. And when you start to pair that with the RTY, with the Bitcoin dominance coming down, like this is typically early signs of a potential alt season incoming. So BNB popping to the upside, very nice to see. Very, very nice to see. So I actually really like this. So there you go. Even a little ascending triangle here. Let me pull this up. Maybe I'll just draw it on the weekly just to get a little bit of a technical target. I'll just pull it from what I have. Just a rough technical target. Interesting. But yeah, I mean, 3-day money flow, I would assume, right? That 3-day money flow, I should like post this somewhere. 3-day money flow on altcoins is typically a very big long-term bullish signal. There's your 3-day money flow crossover on BNB. There's your 3-day money flow crossover on ETH. Even the 2-day money flow is even earlier than that, but the 3-day money flow gives you the continuation up on BNB. It gives you the continuation up on things like, what else has moved pretty well? Link, right? 3-day money flow crossover right here before the big pop into the POC. I'll take a look at Link here as well, just because I have the chart up. But these 3-day money flow crossovers are absolutely critical, and oftentimes a very nice bullish sign. And I like that. Just the fact that BNB is pumping in general is a pretty good sign. Right? It's like we're in this environment, guys, that could facilitate an alt season. I would think that it would expedite the process if Powell was a little more dovish in his language. But yeah, I mean, taking a look at Link here. Clean flip of the value area low to support, next stop POC. One of the cleaner volume profile rotations. It doesn't always look this clean, right? Flip the low, go right to the POC. But, you know, we're hitting a little turbulence here on the point of control. Nothing to be scared. No, I wouldn't say nothing to be scared about, but like, you know, not unexpected, right? This is a level of resistance. It's a target, but also a key level of resistance. As long as we stay within this profile, even if we correct more, flip that POC, value area low, and fulfill the range could still be in the cards here. Very similar to Solana. Solana gets up there, hits the POC, gets the correction, but you stay inside your range, keeping the POC and the value area low or value area high open for business. It's the same thing on Link. All right, you could get the pullbacks, right? But as long as we stay in here, value area high is potentially the next target. And when we look at it from a high time frame Fibonacci perspective, your low, your high, your higher low, you barely held it, but you did hold that 786 for a low, high, higher low, for a potential break of structure to the upside at that value area high. That sits at about 31.72. That's what I would look for on Link. Got to get above the POC first, though. You know, again, corrections. Let's pull up the daily time frame. Money flow coming out on the daily, right? So it could indicate a little bit more turbulence. Again, hopefully we just scam up here. I would love that, but we got to watch this money flow. As money flow crosses into the red, lower highs and lower lows is going to be the higher probability, in my opinion. Or not even in my opinion, just based off the charts. Like, it doesn't have to be right, but that, you know, we did reject that golden pocket. So I would say the big key level locally to get above here on Link is going to be the 786 POC, $26 to $27, $26.52 to $27.09. Once you get above that, well, hey, the idea of the lower high and lower low is invalidated, and you can look for the break of structure into the value area high. But if we can't get above that level, you know, you might just get some more turbulence like we did on Solana, a little bit more of a pullback for a potential rotation back up eventually. Just might be a little bit more ugly, and that money flow is definitely pointing in that direction. Come on, money flow. Fake out money flow. Send it back into the green. Come on. Usually I want the TA to play out, but, you know, I'm down for these, you know, at this point, I just want stuff to move. I'm happy with a fake out here. Let's see. Shout out to Keith said, yeah, Powell was dovish more than hawkish, but maybe not as dovish as people expected. Yeah, like if we wanted, right, obviously a bigger rate cut than expected would have been the most bullish case, right? And in that case, I probably would have expected us to be dealing with a very, very exciting price action right now. Obviously, that was not the case. But yeah, I mean, he was, to be quite honest, it's like, I don't know, was he dovish or hawkish? I mean, the guy talked in circles. I mean, it's really brutal. But yeah, you know, we would have liked to see him like really hint towards a longer term rate cutting cycle. But he was just kind of like, yeah, we're going to pause rates here and then kind of see what happens. And it's like, oh my God, man. God. Bitcoin dominance coming down. Are you kidding me? Carl the Doom says, multiple times, this is the last year that BTC will reach $1 million in this cycle, and when it first gets to 300K, that's when retail will enter. Well, that's an interesting take. That is $1 million by this year? That would be insane. Is that what he said? I don't know. I am not expecting $1 million this year. Am I opposed to it? No. But I am definitely not expecting $1 million this year. That is insane. I would like it. I mean, I do hold a lot of Bitcoin. I would absolutely love that, but I just don't think that is a high probability. I don't know. Maybe this is the super cycle, guys. Maybe this time is different. Maybe this is the first time that this time is different. People will be right. I doubt it, but maybe. They'll be right one day. But yeah, hey, Bitcoin to $1 million by the end of the year, guys. That's it. I mean, if there is something on the charts that looks like we're going to do that, then I will call for it. But from a chart perspective, I'm definitely not looking to $1 million. Let's get to 200K first. Shout out to K-Dub. We actually already took a look at Dogecoin for you. BTC flying 116,665. Almost about to get that 786 alert. Alert. Can she fake out? Can we fake out that daily money flow? That would be very nice. Come on, baby. Get that money flow in the green. The problem here is, like, even if we cross into the green, it's like, it's just hard. It's like, it's a very small red money flow wave. But, I mean, a crossover into the green is a crossover into the green. But again, for me personally, instead of money flow, I'm looking at the key levels. All right, if we break out here, it's like still massive resistance. Until we start flipping this, that's where I'll feel a lot better. Get above that POC golden pocket. That'd be that'd be a much better situation in my opinion. But yeah, let's check ETH. ETH trying to pop out of this volume profile. Come on, baby. Rip it. Let's go. There's the 786 alert. Do I keep deleting the 786? Am I tripping? Why does this thing keep disappearing? There's the 786 tap into the daily. All right, now we are hitting that resistance. I probably have it hidden like 40 times in here somewhere. All right, let's see. Crack above that daily. Maybe we'll get that 117.5 to 118.5K zone to get hit. I'm not gonna lie, that money flow with the bearish divergences did not look likely. But we get above here. I would love that. This is my preferred scenario. But definitely chopping into the daily in 786. Got to get above this in order to get to the POC. So we'll see. 12-minute money flow starting to come up. 15-minute money flow attempting to come up. 10-minute money flow about to cross into the green. Give me a 4-hour green dot. Come on. It's getting close. If we get that 4-hour green dot with the 15-minute money flow crossover into the green and the 12-minute honorable mention, this will cross over first, could give you the continuation of the local uptrend into the bigger key level of resistance. So we'll see if we can get that. Check the long. Up 1769 now, unrealized. 2K locked in. Come on. Hit that TP. 117.5. Come on, baby. Come on. Shout out to Gennaro, said, I know you don't really trade patterns, but do you also see a cup and handle forming on Link for the longer time frames? I'll tell you right now. I don't know. Maybe. Something like that. Maybe, if that's what you're looking at. Looks cup and handle-y to me. But, I mean, maybe not as clean, but it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's just like, yeah, I guess this wasn't as much, right, because you break the high. But it's like, cup and handle, and it just goes down. But maybe, I do see what you're probably looking at. You're probably looking at this. Something like that. It's definitely there. You would need the money flow fake out. Which could be possible, right? Maybe the daily green dot prints and you get the breakout. I hope that happens. I hope that is the case. But it's just hard for me to like put a lot of conviction in a money flow fake out unless I'm super confident in it. I've done it before. Back here, I was really confident and watching for the money flow fake out here. But that was a very specific scenario. It's very rare that you can call the fake outs like that. But this is pretty much what you're hoping for, right? You're hoping for money flow to be in the red and just come right back into the green to continue that move up. So you're hoping for this to get those bigger breakouts. Like, pull up Ethereum real quick. Yeah, Ethereum popping out of the volume profile here. Still, again, right? Like this is really the key level you got to break above. But let me extend this real quick. Yeah, still got some work to do. But again, right? Like, what are you hoping for? If you want the big breakout, right? Get above the 786, send it to new all-time highs. You're hoping for this, right? You need that same kind of money flow fake out I just showed you on Bitcoin. Very hard to predict. So until then, right, for me personally in this case, it's going to be until proven otherwise. I'm going with money flow coming out until proven otherwise. I'm not going to get wrecked. I'm not going to lose out on anything, right? Like, it's just like, that's my anticipation. If it shoots up, great. I hold a ton of spot Ethereum. I would love that. And I don't hold any trades on ETH either, so it's not like I have a long that I'm worried about or anything like that, or short that I'm worried about. Let's see. Is it alt season? Shout out to Josh. I mean, we are in an environment where we can see alt season. I don't know if there's anything right this second that is saying, oh my God, it's alt season. But I would say, I mean, dominance dumping down. I mean, it's a pretty good sign. That's what we like to see. Right? Again, you got the RTY attempting to break out. Get above here. I think a lot of things start to fly. We'll see what happens. We'll have to see what happens tomorrow. XCN. Yeah, we could take a look at XCN. I don't think this is our XCN chart. I know we have an XCN chart somewhere. This is not it. We've looked at this. No way it's the Kraken chart. There it is. All right. So, yeah, so XCN, this was one of those things, right? Like, huge key level. Like, we have to reclaim this level, guys. We lost it. We got the drop. We got the breakout. You got to get above this level. Like, if we don't hold this, what's it look on the weekly? Yeah, you got some closes below it. I mean, this is the level. 0.011705. You got to get back above this 786. Absolutely critical. And I would say, listen, if we're going to start to see the altcoins pop, this will be a better time than any to get back above that 786 and push back into this upper profile. Again, though, I mean, daily money flow has been in the red for about 17 and a half years. Literally 199 days in the red here. 2-day money flow in the red. 3-day money flow in the red. 4-day money flow. Yeah, this is all crossing out. I would say, I mean, money flow looks like garbage here on the higher time frames. But at the end of the day, if you flip this key level, like, as long as you're not decisively stuck underneath here, I mean, if you can't reclaim this level, I'm looking down here to 0.008. 740. If you can reclaim it, well, hey, maybe you can get pop back up here, push back into this value area. I'll get rid of this. Next big level to break above is going to be about 1 cent, 0.0137. Flip that to support, continue through the profile up to the value area high. But you got to get above this 786. This whole zone between 0.0117 and 0.0114 is huge to get above. So hopefully, this next green dot, these next higher time frame green dots, you got the 16-hour money flow trying to come up, green dot looking to print. Let's try to get above this and continue up. 16-hour money flow does not look that bad, but it's just like, again, these these high time frame money flow, like the 4-day and all this, is going to take a long time to turn around. So let's get the daily money flow back up, 16-hour money flow, 12-hour money flow coming back up, 10-hour back in the green. So I would say lower time frame, you got a chance to get back up here. If you can flip that back to support, you can look for a bigger move back up here towards 1 cent, or 0.013. But got to get above here. Huge. Key must claim. They'll like this for a reason, right? So there you go. Lower time frames don't look too bad. I would say the 4-day, from a binary perspective, looks like trash. But again, if all these other time frames start shaping back up a lot, quicker, sooner than later, and it starts pumping, right? Like maybe we could finally get that to come back into the green. But from a binary perspective, this looks like trash on the higher time frames. Lower time frames, not so much. It does look like the reclaim could happen here with the lower time frames. So there you go. Who said this? I lost it. It's gone in the chat. Shout out to Doc wants to see TARS. TARS just still chopping sideways. The nice thing here, guys, is we are holding the key level, which was the 786 at about 5 cents, 0.05343. Very nice we didn't have to lose this. If we lose this level or have lost it, I was looking down here towards about, into the 4-cent zone. But we did hold it, right? This was your last opportunity because when you look at this, it's pulled from the low to the high. So you have your low, your high. That full retracement level on the 786 is sitting right here. So you're praying, right, for this thing to shoot back up. You still have a ton of resistance here, but if you want this thing to shoot up in a bigger way, this was the level to hold, and you are currently holding it, which is very nice. Locally, you're just kind of chopping around. You have these two anchored VWAPs sitting above you. You have a golden pocket, 786, value area low, and the POC right above you. So, next major zone of resistance, other than these anchored VWAPs sitting at about 8.5 cents, is going to be the golden pocket all the way up to the POC, sitting between 0.091 and 11 cents, 9 and 11 cents. Let's take a look at the daily real quick. Daily money flow looking at least a little bit better here. It's in the red, but at least it's not freshly crossing over into the red, right? You're starting to come up here. Money flow is trending to the upside. So let's get that. If you get that daily money flow crossover into the green, I would look for higher lows and higher highs into that next big retracement zone. And then once you crack above 11 cents, that opens the door for the bigger move up into about 15 and 17 cents, where you have your value area high. Take this off the chart. This would be the will it break level. This might actually be a will it break level. I just can't see it on this time frame. So this would be the high that you would be looking to break, right? Because you have the low, the higher low. The higher high would have to come in here. But you still have a lot of work to do. So let's see if we can get the daily money flow crossover into the green, get the continuation of the uptrend, and then you're probably going to get turbulence here, but you got to crack on top of that POC. Until you get above this POC at 11 cents, I would not even be paying attention to these targets. Once you get above it, now the doorway's open. That would be the next target. But for now, the next major target is sitting up here. So there you go. That's what I would look at on TARS. Let's see. Shout out to Seth Shepard said, I'd rather own Stellar Lumens over XRP and HBAR. Sorry, guys. Shout out to Seth Shepard. Do I have any positions open right now? Shout out to Gillar. I don't know how I could say that. Yes, I do have a long open from the bottom at $107,000. So this is the only trade I'm holding right now. Up almost 4,000. So yeah, this is the only position I'm opening. Only position I have open right now. Let's see. XRP is flying? I believe I can fly. I wouldn't really say it's flying. Maybe on a lower time frame, flying. Doesn't mean it can't continue to fly. But yeah, lower time frame, get a push up here. Again, stay inside the profile. POC is open. And I will take some of this off the chart, right? Because this weekly is tapped. I'll actually, what I'll do is, I'll just keep this. Let me get rid of this, right? Because we're already tapped into this resistance. But you have the tapped weekly. Golden pocket is now tapped as well, so we take that off the chart. 786 is still alive. I'll hide this because we already tapped it. POC of the range, I will label this so we know what we're looking at. I'll also label this as well. And we'll label the value area low as well. All right, so you got your value area low, your value area high, your POC. And from a volume profile perspective, you get above the low. POC is next. Turbulence to be expected. That's okay. As long as you stay in the range, doorway to the POC remains open. Flip the POC. That opens up the door to the value area high. The one caveat here is you got to watch that 786 at 323. Because if the lower high is not in here on the golden pocket that I just deleted, high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high is either going to come in at the golden pocket or the 786, which is a zone. I would say flip the POC. It's looking pretty good, right? Because you had much more confluence on the golden pocket zone than you do on the 786. It's kind of just the 786 up here. So I would say flip the POC. You got to be aware of the 786, but I wouldn't be as worried about that as I would about all this confluence in here. And you can see the dump we did get the dump. So we'll see. Watch this anchored VWAP. Anchored VWAP is coming in right now at about $3.12. POC comes in at about $3.14. Right? So this is your first local level of resistance. Get above that. I would look at the 786 as a local level of resistance with the final target of the value area high. And what would be nice about this is that it would fill your range in full, right? Low, POC, wonky, confusing mess, flip the POC into the value area high for the full fill of the range. The only thing I don't like about this is the daily money flow, right? Just like on everything else. Maybe we could fake it out, right? If alt season's going to start right now, that could give you a fake out on money flow for sure, right? But it's just hard for me to call that. But yeah, volume profile-wise, target would be 335. Just got to get above these local resistances. So there you go. That's what I look at on XRP. Well, we already looked at XRP, but Jay said, how does this man have 300 likes? Guys, let's run it up to 650 likes. I know we can do it. Nobody's given as much free value as we do. I can tell you that much. Let's see. I probably should chill the likes. I don't chill the likes anymore for the sole fact of it's nauseatingly redundant for me. Like, I don't know. I just hate it. Smash the like button, guys. Smash the like button, guys. It's like you're supposed to chill it like every 40 minutes or every 15 minutes or whatever. But, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's just like, it's just annoying for me. And I feel like it's annoying for everybody else too. So if you like me not chilling the likes, guys, smash that like button. I say it once in the beginning of the stream at this point. Fart coin. Yeah, we can take a look at fart coin. Bada boom. Bada bing. Let's see. We definitely have a fart coin chart. There it is. Well, look at that. I don't know, guys. I'm going to be out of a job soon. I mean, you front ran the value area low here technically, but I mean, with how well these volume profiles play out, it's like I'm surprised we don't get front run more. It's like almost every single time you're going to tap that value area low or value area high, or at least get close. I mean, even actually, let me see. Let me pull this. It's probably moved the value area low down if I had to guess. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you're bouncing off the value area low with bullish divergences. Last time we looked at Farcoin, we talked about this, right? I think it was the 4 hour we were looking at. No, maybe it wasn't Farcoin. Yeah, so you didn't actually get the divs, which is fine. Does look a lot better when you have the divs. But yeah, you didn't really get the bullish divergences, but you came down to the value area low. Reclaim. I mean, next target here would be the POC. Very simply put. There it is. That's your next target to the upside. Remain in the range. Get the push into the POC. Go from the low to the POC. Flip the POC. Go to the high. Lose the high. Can't break out. POC. Value area low. That would be the anticipation. Looking at the daily, I mean, at least money flows in the red here. We're not getting a fresh crossover. Let's check the 2-day. I mean, 2-day money flow crossover back in the red as well. This is what makes me cautious of lower highs and lower lows. I would say cautiously optimistic, just because of the, dominance coming down, all BNB breaking out, the RTY trying to break out, Ethereum start looking good. I would be careful. I would be generally over the long-term bullish, but I'm just very skeptical of potential bigger continuations down in the medium term, just because of a lot of this money flow on the 2-day, on the daily, 3-day. Nothing really to take away from that. But local levels, value area low. As long as you stay above this value area low at 74 cents, I would say the POC at $1.02 is open. And then we just look for that fulfill the volume profile, which would also bring you into the full retracement level of this entire move down. All right, so get above that POC. Look for the push into the golden pocket 786 value area high. That's what I would look at. Value area high sits at $1.43. Golden pocket starts at $1.30. And then the 786, won't confuse you guys. I'll just call it perfectly in confluence with the value area high. Right, so look between about $1.30. If you get above that POC, next stop would be between $1.30 and about $1.47. So there you go. That is what I would be looking at. Let's see. Shout out to BTC Bill. Thank you for the super chat, bro. I appreciate you so much. Dang, $100 super chat. Let's go, bro. Thank you for that. I appreciate you so much. He says, appreciate you, Frankie. Keep up the good work. Shout out to BTC Bill. BTC Bill. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for saying that. And we're going to keep it up here because I said I was doing a short stream, and here we are, almost at a 2-hour live stream. Every single time, guys. Every single time. This action has got to be a trap. Shout out to Cryptic Crabman. Well, we had the trap on the, and that's kind of my basis here, right? It's like, this is nice. This is nice, guys, but just understand, we are not even at the key level of resistance I was looking for yet, right? So it could be a trap. It could be potentially a trap. Money flow, I mean, again, it's like money flow. Ugh, money flow is so gross right now. But the 2-day, VWAP comes down, money flow comes down. Just be aware of the trap. You don't have to say, right? Like, you're never going to see me sit and be, everybody's an idiot because they're bullish. We're going down. Like, I will never say that, right? Because at the end of the day, we can come onto this key level of resistance and, guys, money flow is coming out. We're 100% going down. I can never say that, right? We could come up in here, and if money flow looks really good, then great. We can maybe break out. But I would definitely be aware of the trap. I am cautiously optimistic. I'm optimistic in the fact that Bitcoin dominance is coming down, at least for altcoins. The RTY is looking to break out. I mean, we got the rate cut, which was mostly priced in. But it really depends on, how the market digests all that information from FOMC. So cautiously optimistic. We're in the environment where we could see a final parabolic move and an alt season. But when you look at the chart, at least on the daily, right? I wish the daily money flow was coming out, the 2-day money flow was coming out, and the 3-day money flow was coming out. But the 3-day doesn't look bad, right? So you just have these mixed signals. So you just got to be aware. If I get signals up here for a short, I'm going to take the short. Doesn't mean that if we pump, I'm going to get wrecked, right? This is like a lot of people come in like, well, good luck getting wrecked, brother. That's what they said up here, right? Good luck getting wrecked, shorting an all-time high. What an idiot. Made a bunch of money on that move, right? And if it kept pumping, guess what? The long continues to pay out, which we were in. I was in 2 longs here, a long from down here and a long from down here. Small loss, right? It's all about risk management. Now, if I were to just FOMO, if I were just to short this with no stop loss, well, sure, that's super risky, right? But with the stop loss properly set, right, I'm okay, right? If I take a short here, I might get stopped out of it. Maybe we get the confirmations, we take the short, it plays out a little bit, and then we just get a mega pump, right? I'll stop out for a small loss, and my current long will continue to pay me out. And hopefully I can have some new longs or potentially add to this long position to have that continue to pay me out as well, right? It's not about being right or wrong, right? If you were entering into the trading space attempting to be just right all the time, it's going to hurt you in more ways than one. Because you're never going to be right all the time. You have to accept that you have to take shots when you see your confirmations, even though there is still a chance you're going to be wrong. Everybody searches for the thing that's like, I want to find the level on the confirmations that just get me, like even this, right? Like this trade longed at the exact bottom, right? But this was not 100% certainty, right? So how do we protect ourselves? We just set a nice stop loss, right? So if we get stopped out there, no big deal, right? You just take a small loss and catch the next position. We're not just like longing here, FOMOing in with the entire account, no stop loss, right? That is gambling. That's not what we do, right? But although our confirmations do play out very well, clearly, oftentimes, it's never 100% scenario. It's never 100% case, right? It's like, there was a chance that this looked really good and we just got stopped out and it continued down, right? Like you're going to see bullish setups, bearish setups, and they're just going to get ran through sometimes. That's why it's so important. Even when you have all the confirmations, there's no guaranteed winning trade, right? Unless you already take profit and move your stop loss, right? There's no guaranteed setup. It just doesn't exist. If you're trying to do that, it is something, you're chasing something that does not exist. Please save your time, your energy, and your money. I thought that too. I was like, I'm looking at the wrong indicator. I'm using the wrong strategy. The truth is, guys, there are so many profitable strategies out there, even ones that I don't prefer. I don't like trading patterns. Guess what? People out there trade patterns and make money. It's good enough to make money. Even if you have a 50% or less win rate, you could still make money. It is more about the risk management. Risk management over win rate 1,000% of the time. That's why most people lose. If you are losing money trading, chances are you're probably using a winning strategy. You're just not managing your positions right. And that's not to say that you could be using a bad, you might be using a bad strategy. You might not be good at TA. That is a probability, right? But the chances are, right? Like if you're using any like popular strategies out there, right? Like if you trade ICT, like people are making money trading ICT. People make money trading volume profiles. We show it here all the time. People make money just trading fib levels. People trade just using support and resistance, right? But the people who make money using any of those strategies are the ones that are actually managing their risk, not just gambling. right? You really have to separate the gambling from the trading. I'm not saying it's bad to jump on the chart and like jump on the 1 minute and try to gamble a little bit. And maybe you could use your TA and have a slight bigger edge. Or maybe you have a really good scalping strategy, you have a really high edge, right? But it doesn't matter. The edge doesn't matter if you're not managing the risk. Like I said, I could long here with no stop loss, not take profit, and then what happens if it comes down? Maybe even if I short here, I'm like, all right, I'm short. I'm just going to hold my long and my short without locking in profits or moving my stop loss. Well, what happens if price dumps to the downside? Now all this money that I made here is now gone. But I'm up on the short. But chances are I'm going to do the same thing with the short. I'm going to try to catch another long, and I'm just going to hold that short with no stop. You're not making money, right? And chances are, if you're not using stop loss, you're probably getting wrecked on every trade, right? So you could be right. It doesn't mean you're going to make money. I could be right here, right? If I didn't lock in that money, I would have no profit if it comes back down, right? So, and if you take the position and it doesn't play out, you can't blow up your account in one trade, right? You want to risk, I would say, 1 to 2% of your account on any given trade. You could change this number, right? But as a beginner, if you risk 1% of your account, you're going to have to lose way more than 100 trades in a row to blow up your account. That way, when you get into a position and you get stopped out, you're not thinking like, oh my God, I lost, oh man, right? You're just thinking like, okay, took a loss on that one. I can now take hundreds of more trades still and make money. And if your losses are much smaller than your gains, all it takes, you can get stopped out, winner, boom. You covered all the losses plus profit. I know it sounds simple. I know it sounds stupid. And I know it's not what everyone wants to hear. Everyone wants to hear, like, I mean, I teach a lot of this for free. The long we took down here, I've covered in the premium Discord. I pulled it up and showed you exactly what we were looking for. They're good confirmations. They're good key levels. But it's just not going to help you if you can't manage the position. I could have told you, hey, buy here. If you don't take profits along the way and it melts back down, it's not because the setup was bad. It's just because you don't know how to trade, right? Trading is a you versus you situation. It's a psychological game. It is not something that you can like figure out and it's going to click for you and you're just going to start making money easily, right? Every trade, sometimes I take trades and they're very hard trades, but I'm just not freaking out because I know I could get stopped out of 100 positions and still be alive, right? And getting stopped out of 100 trades in a row is, in my opinion, almost impossible. Let's see. Sui, shout out to Matt S. No, we have not checked out Sui today, but we can. Let's take a look. What is this? The Coinbase chart. Where are we at? Binance. Here it is. All right. So we took a look at this earlier today on the live stream. You have your golden pocket retracement held perfectly. Low, high. Your high or low is either coming in on your golden pocket or your 786. Both of these were confluent with a daily. Currently, you're holding your golden pocket. This is nice. At this point, you could look for the break of structure to the upside, which would mean looking to crack this high right here. Probably tapping into your local retracement to the downside now. Yeah, rejecting the 786 here. Again, money flow coming out here on the 3 hour. Money flow coming out here. Not 4 hour looks pretty decent. Oh, man. It's like I'm like more hesitant to pull up money flow just because it's just like doesn't help me. It's like, 2 hour money flows in the red. 3 hour money flows coming out. 4 hour cooking. 5 hour flat. 6 hour coming up. 8 hour coming up. 10 hour coming up. 12 hour looking good. 16 hour looking great. Daily looks like trash. I was like, I can't do anything with that. I just can't. But you got your daily green dot looking to print. So I would say just from a market structure perspective, you could look to potentially break this high. Now, this doesn't mean long here and get the move, right? The long was when we were talking about the key level of support. If you're, I don't give trade setups here. I give my trade setups in the premium Discord. I don't do it here on the live stream. Once in a while, I'll drop like a little freebie. But, if you're looking for key levels to look for longs at, right? Like the time to look for them is when price is crashing into support. But why do people not oftentimes take those positions? It's because they're afraid, right? They're probably more interested in taking shorts down here. That's not what you want to do. So for me, the long was to be had down here, right? Not up here. But could potentially anticipate that break of structure to the upside. Just because we can look, or even if we expect a high probability move up here, doesn't make it a great trade, right? Because where's my stop loss going to go here? Right? I like to teach you guys how to actually make money, right? Like I can't just long here and put my stop loss down here if I'm going to come directly into resistance, right? Look at this risk to reward. I'm risking way more than I'm potentially going to win. This is bad. This is not a place to enter a trade. The place to enter the trade is down here, right? at the golden pocket. You could put your stop loss slightly below these lows or below the golden pocket, and then you could target this resistance level, and now you have a 6.4 risk to reward. You were risking way less than you were willing to win. These are the trades you could take 100 times and lose them and then have one winner pay out, right? Not longing up here with a massive stop loss, right? Maybe if you had a massively higher target, if the resistance wasn't right here, maybe you could do that as like a swing trade. But right now it's like you're pushing into this like it's just a terrible risk to reward. So, and again, right, more people are prone to long here because they feel bullish. Price is pumping. I want to jump in here and get in. It's not impossible that you can jump in on that continuation, but it's just nowhere where I would look to take a trade. It's just not a good risk to reward. So, longs at support as price is coming down. So if I were to look for anything here, I would have to look for a short. I'm not saying I will short this or I think it's a good idea to short this. But, I mean, at this point, it's like you're pushing into local resistance. You have resistance above. Like, I would just have to be looking for shorts here for a pullback. If I wanted to long this, I would need some kind of bigger retracement, right, to look at as price is coming down to enter into a long position, right? Even here, right? Am I going to long here? Probably not, right? I'm going to wait for a pullback. Where's price likely going to pull back to? Probably a golden pocket 786. There's the golden pocket tap. There's your second long entry. Not up here. You missed the trade, right? In my opinion, right? Again, you can enter here and it could just moon, but it's just not, over time using that is not going to be consistently profitable. So yeah, I would look at this weekly sitting at 3, or we already tapped that weekly. So yeah, I would say golden pocket. I would say this golden pocket daily is your next key level of resistance. Sitting between $3.93 and $4. So if it is going to be your low, your high or low, and you are going to put in the higher high, it would make a lot of sense to put that higher high in here for the break of structure to the upside. That's what I would look at on SUI. Yeah, that's what I would look for. Other than that, long term, I would still say the biggest level to get above for a massive move, still got to crack this value area low sitting up here at about 414. So you still have some work to do to get up there. It's like, it looks like, oh my God, it's mooning, right? But it's like you just zoom out and it's like, boop, little pop up. Still nice to see though. So that's what I would look at locally and on the higher time frames for SUI. Let's see. Shout out to Olgar. Said, Frankie, you can't leave us before we short 118 together, please. Shout out to Olgar. Let's see. Take a look at good old Biddy. 116.7. What is this? We've been live for, 2 hours probably? Yeah, about 3, 4. We're live for almost 5 hours today. Good Lord. All right, so there we go. We push into the daily, getting a little bit of resistance here, but look at the money flow in the lower time frames. Like the reason, right, you get above this level, 12-minute money flow, 15-minute money flow starts crossing into the green with your 4-hour green dot, which is getting somewhat close. It's not there just yet. 3-hour green dot looking to print, 2-hour green dot printing. Again, I would have to say money flow doesn't look great here. Maybe it's a fake out, but even so, right? I would say, with the 2-hour green dot, 3-hour green dot, 4-hour green dot, 12-minute money flow coming up, 15-minute money flow attempting to come up. If we could get that 15-minute money flow crossover into the green with the 4-hour green dot, that could potentially give us the power to put in the bullish trend into the massive resistance. Still the biggest level on the chart, guys. We'll see what happens. I wish we could just sit here all night and wait for this level to get tapped, but unfortunately, we might not hit it tonight. We'll wind up sitting here. If we don't hit it, we might just go sideways for 6 hours. Shout out to Dave Digital said, so you're saying short it. Shout out to Dave Digital. Well, we'll see if we can get those confirmations. I'm not going to go. I covered those a little more in the premium Discord, but here's the thing. If we push up here and I do not have any confirmations to short, I will not short it. And if I'm being totally transparent, if it's happening later tonight, if we push up here and I see even low time frame confirmations, I might take a low risk shot, meaning like a lower probability trade, but just a smaller position size just to get exposed in case we do reject, right? So I would just make it a smaller position size, even if I don't see like massive confirmations. But again, if I get stopped out of that, it's no big deal, right? Because I'm taking a small loss. I'm taking a controlled loss. I'm not just getting liquidated on that trade. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see if we get those confirmations up there. I have some ideas of what I'll be looking for. So yeah, And maybe the 786 winds up being the rejection. But I would just say with the looming 3 and 4 hour green dots, if we could print those, I think that will maybe able to, with the 12 and 15 minute money flow, give us the continuation into that big zone. Let's see. 420 likes. Smash that like button. Shout out to CK. Let's get it to 550, baby. 420 is a fun number. But let's smash it up to 550. If we go sideways for 6 hours, wouldn't that push money flow into the green, making it more likely to break out? I don't know. It depends on what money flow decides to do. Maybe. Like the lower time frame money flow, maybe like 15-minute red dot continues us down, right? Then we come back up. Money flow kind of wiggles to the upside. I don't know. I wish I did. I wish I had a crystal ball, guys. Definitely don't have a crystal ball. Shout out to It's Happening, said you rang. Shout out to It's Happening. Somebody, let's see. SK wants to see ENA. Let's take a look at ENA real quick. All right, so I think we recently looked at ENA. Yeah, looking at the golden pocket retracement. Higher, low, high, higher, low, higher, high. You got the break of structure to the upside and the rejection, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, this thing is just kind of, yeah, I mean, you're bounced off the golden pocket. You got the higher high. Only problem here is that daily money flow. But VWAP is coming up, right? So, I just don't know if the drop is going to happen right this second, right? You might get a little lackluster bounce before coming back down. I'll give you some key levels of resistance to watch here if that green dot on the daily and the 16-hour and the 12-hour give us a move to the upside. I would just watch this local retracement level, which is pretty much the value area low of the range. So, I mean, this is not only your Fibonacci retracement, but if you get up here, this is also the level you want to break above in order to continue up through that profile, in which case you're going to run into your bigger golden pocket and your bigger 786. So I would say, listen, assuming, right, that green dot gives us a push up, I would look for something like this. And if that green dot prints and money flow is continuing out, right, could look for the lower high and the lower low. You still have your 786 sitting down here, which I would actually look at as a different level as of right now. I would look, if you put in the lower high here, it does give you the possibility of cracking the lows, but yeah, I won't really be able to pull that fib until we get the move. But let's assume price pushes up into here. Money flow comes out. That could be where the lower high comes in, right? On the flip side of that, if you flip the 786, you could look up towards that POC, which again is still key resistance. Flip the POC, go up to the value area high, which unfortunately is still key resistance. These are higher time frame fib levels. So like looking at something like the 3 or 4 day. And I would say here, at least on ENA, right, like your 3-day money flow is crossed over into the green. This does indicate that any pullbacks, right, even if that daily money flow comes out and you continue down, you could still look for higher lows and higher highs over the longer term. But that daily, man, I don't know. If we get the dump, I mean, you'll know that daily money flow was very, very sketchy. And if we get the pop up and a massive push, then the money flow will be faking out. That's like really the situation. It's very, logically, based off the TA, I would say the money flow coming out is more bearish. And then, I'm happy for that to be wrong. At that point, it's like, well, hey, if we shoot up, it's like crazy. It's like, sometimes the TA just doesn't play out. It's rare, but it happens, right? I kind of feel like we're due for it, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, until that daily money flow shapes up, it's like that's got to be the bias. Like lackluster bounces, lower highs, lower lows could be the case. And that is sitting here between about 79 and 83 cents. It's also your value area low. So that's what I would look at on ENA. Shout out to Neat, said, turn up the definition. Charts are blurry. Shout out to Neat. I think that is probably an internet issue on your end, I believe. I cannot increase the quality on my charts, unfortunately. And I got OBS cranking out at HD. So let's see. All right, I'll take one look at AVAX. Taking a look at AVAX a lot over the... Oh, there it is, guys. Can't make it up. Talked about this on the live stream earlier today. Break above these highs, you could see the cook through the low volume gap. I mean, this is right on time. Low volume gaps, oftentimes, this will... High volume node, high volume node, high volume node. Price sticks to the high volume nodes. Price sticks to the high volume nodes. Price sticks to the high volume nodes. The low volume nodes are the opposite. Price does not like to hang out in these areas. Price moves very quickly through these areas. Fast move up, Fast move down. We talked about this before we even entered the gap, but once you break into this gap, you might be able to see the quick move through the low volume gap. And earlier today on the live stream, we talked about breaking above these highs, potentially giving you the continuation to cook through this low volume gap, leading you into the next two big targets, which remain exactly the same as earlier today. 33.80 to 34.59. You have your weekly MPOC and your daily MPOC and the end of the low volume gap. And then above that, you have a weekly, a high volume node, a monthly MPOC, and a daily, sitting up here between 35.66 and 36.68. These are the next two big targets on AVAX. And not super shocking to continue through that low volume gap. We talked about this, I think, last week, right? When was this? Yeah, last week. We were down here saying, hey, flip this high volume node, crack into the volume gap. Boom, look for the quick move up. Hopefully we can continue. And again, like I can't think of an easier way to show this, right? Like volume is king, right? This is why I love fixed range volume profiles. This is why I love the visible range volume profiles, right? I'm circling the low volume gap. And then every time you enter in there, boom, enter back in, boom. Well, boom, boom. Get back in, get back in, boom. Get back in, boom. Get back in, boom, right? Very simple way to view the markets. It's nice and visual, right? It like makes sense. Like, oh, we have a big wall ahead of us. Oh, we have a big wall ahead of us. Slam your head, slam your head, slam your head, right? But look at this low volume gap. Price moves very smoothly and quickly through that low volume gap. Fast move down, fast move up, fast move down, fast move up. Slipped it. Still a fast move, but didn't get it all the way through. Fast move down, fast move up, fast move. Well, not fast move down, but you got to fast move up and down. Fast move up and down, fulfill, 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 fulfill. Very aggressive, very aggressive. That's how those low volumes behave. Very nice to see. So, yeah, I would still be looking up here towards about 33.89 to about 34.50 as the next target. Above that, you got the 36.68 to 35.66. Plain and simple, baby. Plain and simple. Shout out to Dave Digital, said thanks for streaming. Shout out to Dave Digital, no problemo, bro. That's what we're here for. Covering the markets live every single weekday at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Anyway, like the stream if you want AVAX to continue to fly. If you want that low volume gap filled, guys, smash that like button. Finally getting a little bit of action here. Finally. Let's see. Dot, we can take a quick look at Polkadot as we are running out of time here, guys. It does seem the more times I live stream, the longer I go. It's like, I don't know. It's like every time we have a stream in the afternoon, the night stream winds up I always try to do it short, and it winds up going long. Polkadot still sitting above its value area low. You get in, you flip it to support. We're just still within the range. 3-day money flow crossover finally coming into the green here. VWAP's coming down, but your money flow is crossing into the green, which is very nice to see. For the most part, again, it's very hard to say, especially after FOMC. We'll see what happens tomorrow. We might get like a big flush up or a big flush down. But, I mean, for the most part, remain inside your volume profile. All right, this is somewhat similar to what we saw back here, right? Money flow is coming up on the 3-day. It crossed over a little bit later. The crossover still did give you continuations up. 3-day crossover into the green. Higher low, higher high. But now you're getting this to happen at the low of the volume profile. So once you get above that low, you could obviously anticipate the next big target over time, right, with a bunch of scary turbulence, right? If you come up here and you start pulling back, right, doesn't mean you're going to zero. If you get close to the POC and you pull back, it doesn't mean that you're not going to hit the POC. It's just price moves and ebbs and flows. But the money flow would indicate higher lows and higher highs, targeting eventually the POC at 638. I don't really see a situation here if we see alt season that Polkadot does not at least get up into these range highs, and in my opinion, probably higher than that. I don't know about all-time highs, but definitely looking at Polkadot, you're above your value area. Until you lose this value area low, doorway to the POC is open, and I would say your 3-day money flow is pointed in the right direction here. 3-day money flow crossover, big bullish sign for altcoins. And then we come on over to the daily, and money flow is coming out. But the 3-day money flow is probably going to be the stronger thing to look at anyway. Again, like even if you get like maybe the daily money flow comes into the red, and you don't have to worry about that. Like either it's going to fake out and you're going to continue through the profile like the 3-day money flow and the volume profile say, or you're going to get that money flow to break you back down out of that value area low. And it's not until you lose this value area low that you're going to be looking lower anyway. You could chop around in this volume profile and then go up, right? Once you lose that value area low, I'm probably targeting the 786 at about 336. So that's what I would look at on Polkadot from a higher time frame perspective. you could look for, yeah, I mean, you're above the value area low. You could chop around here a little bit, but, you know, you're back in. Let's see if that 3-day money flow could push you up. So it would not happen tomorrow or the next day, right? It's going to take time. There's going to be a lot of ebbs and flows, just to be clear. So, yeah, that's what I would look for. So there you go. Let's see here. Is the 1 hour SFP on Bitcoin not enough if we get it? Let's see. I don't know. Shout out to Dave Digital. I don't know exactly what 1 hour SFP you're looking at, or maybe this. Yeah, I mean, number one, I would really like to see the level tapped. But when we take a look at the liquidation heat maps, we can see the liquidity runs up between 117.5 up to 118.5, the thickest part of them, right? Doesn't mean you can't wick above it. So, I mean, that runs you right into the zone. I don't know. And again, that 100, let me pull it up over here just so I'm a little bit more accurate, or accurate, as some people would say. Yeah, it's this zone, right? It's not the whole Golden Pocket 786. So, yeah, I mean, you can look for the SFPs. The question is, what wick do you want to look at? I mean, I would probably be looking at this one as probably the closest. So the idea is that you come up. I just don't know, right? Like, especially if you're going to fill all of this, I just don't know if it's going to be a 1 hour SFP, right? Like that would be about a like a 1% wick. That's not that bad. So yeah, I mean, I'll be looking for multiple things up in here. But again, because the liquidity is sitting there, a sweep could be very nice to see for the short. And you know what could happen here is if you don't get the sweep, we could get something like a failed auction, right? Where you try to trade above the level and then you lose it and then you get the bigger drop down. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, again, this daily 786 is also a pretty significant level. But again, that 15-minute money flow, 15-minute red dot cools you off. We'll see. Right now, for the push into this zone, guys, if we're going to come up and hit this, I am currently going to be watching the 4-hour green dot with the 12 and the 15-minute money flow crossing into the green. I'm hoping that can push us up there. If not, we might just reject from the 786, right? Resistance, local resistance number 1, massive resistance I prefer. So, yeah, you even got little bear divs up here. Dang, we should have just been watching the 1-minute chart on Bitcoin this whole time. Screw the altcoins. And you got the 1-minute money flow coming out with the 15-minute red dot, which is a low time frame market cipher B116 setup. Just continue down a little bit more. But yeah, I'm just sitting on my hands, guys. Hold in the long position, looking for the short if we push into that bigger level. And if I take I mean, you guys will just see the short tomorrow, but I may take a short position if I see an entry later tonight with the premium. But yeah. That's what I'm looking at, guys, on Bitcoin. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to the CandleMafia. FOMC just giving us the bing bong weird random volatility. But you guys have all the key levels. If you just tuned in, scrub back to the beginning of the stream. I showed the 2 major levels I'm looking at and my overall thoughts. I wish I could be more decisive on a direction here. I would say that market cipher does look more bearish with money flow on some of the time frames, but then some of them are just totally counter. Just totally mixing it up, right? Like the 3-day money flow is coming up. Daily money flow is coming out, right? Or in the red, but also coming up. But the 2-day money flow kind of looks like trash. Like money flow is just completely trashed out here. So again, I am somewhat neutral, just sitting on my hands. You might say to yourself, well, you're getting all these mixed signals. Do you long or short? Well, the answer to the question is you don't take a trade to take a trade, right? You take a trade when you're at a key level with confirmation. So for me, what that means is what this means is if we push up here, I will look for a trade. If we do not push up there, and I do not get a setup somewhere sooner, right, then I will just let price come down into our bigger key levels. So just before I let you guys go, I'll give you a simple drop down or a simple breakdown of what I'm looking at. 113 to 112K, big level of support. If we get some kind of massive drop down here from this fib zone, which isn't impossible, that's what I'll be looking for. If we get the push up, 117.5 to 118.5, is the big level to look at for me. So there you go. We'll see if we can get back above that 786 daily. Again, like I said before, this is the level you got to get above in order to get that bigger level of resistance. Pretty harsh rejection here. Pretty nasty looking candles here. But yeah, let's see if they get that 4-hour green dot. If we don't print that 4-hour green dot, this might be the lower high, guys. I'm not going to lie. But if we can get it, then we'll just wait up here. But if there's no signal, guys, I just chill. Wait for the lower level. Wait for the higher level. Not financial advice, as always, guys. I'm just some crazy guy screaming on YouTube. But thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you guys for hanging out with us here on the Frankie Candles live stream and the FOMC stream as well, even though we had some internet issues. Shout out to R. I don't know how to say your name, but shout out to R. Said, thanks, Frankie. You're the GOAT. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Shout out to Ogre. Shout out to Panda the Prophet. Shout out to Mike Cooper. Shout out to Sarah, Jedi Skirk, Dave Digital, French Toaster, CandleMafia's John Cena, Keeping It Real podcast, Daniel, Dopamine Gambler. Shout out to Dopamine Gambler. But thank you guys for being here. I appreciate every single one of you guys. And I will see you here, same place, same time, tomorrow, right here, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Smash that like button on your way out. That's all I got. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the roll, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like, yeah, you about to see me on demand like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the roll, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the roll, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On a roll, here we go.
One more time, guys. One more time, because it's funny. You don't know what I'm talking about, but you're about to find out. Hasta pasta. Bing bong. I love it. I love it. Hey, hey. Nothing gets me hyped up like people chanting A. I can't lie, guys. I will roam. I'll be at a party and I'll be at one party and go to another party just to scream and get in that chant. But anyway, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Same place, same time. You know the rest. Hasta pasta. I gotta get out of here. Bing bong.